Hello and welcome back. My name is Nicole Chapman, Director of Training and Education here at Club Caddy. Today we are going to review the 5 for 15 new features. This one's packed full of a few great things, so we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. So, to begin, we are now offering the ability for customers or members to self check in through the mobile app. This is going to be a great feature for those who want to utilize a faster check in process or possibly memberships that have those members that are a little late to the tea. They can go ahead and check themselves in if you want to allow that capability. So, when somebody goes into their mobile app account, they can then go to their tea time reservations. And when they click on that tea time, there's now going to be an option to check in. If they choose to click on that, it will bring them either to the payment page if they haven't paid yet, or allow them to charge to a membership. And then additionally, if they already have paid, we'll check them in. This will all go straight to the T sheet, and your pro shop no longer has to do it. So in order to set this up, you do need to go to your settings. Then you need to go to mobile app, and you're going to select the app settings tab. Here, you can toggle this option on to allow mobile check-in. It's just a nice way to expedite the check-in process and speed things up for your facility. This next feature, we have updated the guest name display on the tea sheet. So from now on, the guests of the person who made the tea time will display. So it'll read as guest of, and then let's say Nicole Chapman, rather than the rate that they were booked in the previous version. So this is going to apply even if you have two different groups in the tea time. One will say guest of Michael Rollins, let's say, and then let's say we got paired with this twosome, and I have a guest, it would be guest of Nicole Chapman, and they will also be hand in hand next to each other. So this is going to allow the shop to easily identify whose guest is whose and who they're associated with. So nice little update there. So next we have our punch card identification enhancement. This is a really nice visual aid that is going to help with your punch card creations. So when you're in there and you're editing or creating a new punch card, when you're selecting the rack rate that you would like to associate with these punch cards, you can now see the details of each of these rates to ensure that you're selecting the exact rack rate that you would like. We know some facilities have very similar rates that they use. So this is really going to help identify exactly which ones you are trying to associate, just making it easier visually to do that. I'm really excited about this one. And speaking of rack rates, our next new enhancement is going to be the rack rate management descriptions. Now, this is the ability to create descriptions for rates that will be published to the online booking engine. The description will display an info icon upon the customer selecting the rate online, and the description will be provided. So some use cases for this is if you have a senior rate, and when someone hovers over that icon, it will show that the senior rate is for ages 65 and older, and they have to have a valid license. And the cart's also included with this particular rate. So those kinds of descriptions are going to allow you to specify exactly what the rates that you are offering include. So to set this up for your various rack rates, you're going to go ahead and head to the settings, then rack rate management, and you can either create a new one or use a current one and then edit it. And here you're going to see the description box area, which will populate that info icon. If it is left blank, there will just not be an info icon provided there. And that is a great new one for customers to really understand the rates that you're providing. Now, moving on to the next one, we have introduced a new integration with Players First, which is a customer experience management solution. If you head to your settings and under 3P integrations, you will now see that there is a Players First tab where you can copy the information to your Players First account. So this next one's awesome for events. And as somebody who used to sell outside tournaments, this would have been really nice to have had. So, and this one, we now have the ability to track and tie any sales that are tendered to an individual event. And this is going to allow operators to see how much revenue was generated from any given event, including sales that are not necessarily incorporated into the event builder. So it's allowing for greater transparency on what that event revenue really is as a whole. And for example, let's say you have an outside Monday tournament at your facility. And some of those tournament players go ahead and head to your bar and they purchase some additional drinks and snacks. They headed to your golf shop, they bought a hat. Now they're paying for this on their own, so it's not going to be charged to the actual event itself, but the revenue is now going to be associated with the day of the event. So even though your event's total may have only been $10,000, you may have sold an additional $5,000 in food and drinks and other purchases, and now you'll be able to tie all of that information together. Only events that are taking place on that day will be selectable for event tracking. Now, to set up the terminals for this event tracking within the individual itself, you're going to head to that event and you will see the event tracking tab. Once you're in there, there's a drop down for all of the terminal locations you have. And you can go ahead and select the various terminals that you would like to obtain this information. This could be your banquet terminal, your pro shop terminal, your bar terminal, whatever correlates to sales for that particular, you can select here. Now that's going to move us right on to our next new enhancement, which is the event tracking report. This new report is going to allow for tracking events by terminal and provide additional insights into sales generated from events outside of the event itself and charges associated. So here you can now use all of that information we just talked about in a nice clean report to show your day of revenue rather than just the event specific revenue. So great way to showcase all the revenue you're bringing in. Now, also in events, we have an online event enhancement. Now, when you offer multiple fee types for a particular event, a price range will be displayed. And this is to help subdue any confusion if they only see one price point, but you actually are offering four. This will just help clarify that. And then additionally, when you click to register for the event, the fee type names will now be displayed in that drop down options here. So instead of just being a dollar amount, it's now going to have the description as well to allow customers or members to select the correct fee type and know exactly what fee is being correlated to the description. So if you're offering in this example, various food selections at different price points, this is going to allow them to understand exactly what they're selecting and the cost associated. So lots of stuff at events this new build. And last but not least for our events section is our other enhancement regarding payment link options. So now we have introduced a new payment link, which can be found under the Events Banquet Manager under the payment options. The new link removes any outstanding balance details and just leaves the opportunity to make a deposit and provide credit card information. So this is great if you need to collect payment, but don't necessarily want the person submitting to see the total balance yet. Maybe it's just a deposit use case just to hold a date. Or if you really want to get creative, maybe you could use this for outside events that have charity features, and maybe they are using sponsors, like sponsor $500 towards food and beverage. They can go ahead and utilize that link to directly pay you or go towards this event payment. So kind of some use cases in that regard, but they can apply their contributions directly to the event itself without seeing any grand totals or previous payments made. Now we're going to move on to the enhancement in membership. So now we have talked about this in a previous release. We have the ability to now sell memberships online, and it was prorated. So if somebody had joined in the middle of the month, the calculation was done for you. Well, we've brought that to the POS. So if you are selling a membership through the POS, entering it in, those classes that you assign, as long as you allow them to be prorated, will now be automatically prorated, and you no longer have to calculate that math yourself. So very nice feature to take some of that human errors that may happen out of the situation. And in order to set up the ability for these classes to be prorated, you will need to go to your settings, then class management. You're going to hit edit, And then there, you're going to toggle on the prorate on sale option, and that will go ahead and auto calculate whether it be monthly, quarterly, or annually, whatever the prorated amount would be given the time of month, year that they are signing up. So, great little way to expedite that. And also, a nice little new feature in membership is under tools, you have the option for a membership payment. Someone walks in, they just want to pay their invoice and give you their card right there. We have added the member balance as a visible dollar amount right when you click on that button and you assign that member here. So when you're making a membership payment in the register, the full balance amount will now populate and can be viewed right here. You no longer have to navigate to the ledger to obtain that amount. So it's just making it even easier for you to make that a quicker transaction. So one little nifty new feature that we have is the ability to delete floor plans. Now, in this example here, you can see I've built out what a true post-tournament, our banquet room would look like. And what's nice is that you can create several floor plans and have as many templates as you want, but sometimes we make mistakes. So you can go ahead and delete those now, but you can now utilize them for your BEOs and ensure your staff knows the proper setup for whatever event you are trying to do. And we'll just help them with those visual aids that they may need. How customers can be a little specific sometimes. So one other quick tip I wanted to give while you're here about floor plans is you do have the option to copy and paste within these. So if you drag your mouse and highlight over a particular section by right clicking and then dragging, here if I hit Control C and then Control V, and I go back to that and I pull it off, you're going to see that a duplicate has been made. So I hope this just expedites your process in making these floor plans, making it a little bit faster and easier for you to create as many templates as you need to make your life easier. And last but not least for our new features, we have the Start a Tab by saving a credit card with the Lane and Clover devices. This originally was released for MagTechs and has been introduced for those devices as well. And that wraps up our 5 for 15 new release. As always, we encourage you to visit learn.clubcaddy.com for continued education and our online videos. These are great tools for any new hires or just reminders for your staff to learn the software. Additionally, if you're ever in need in any articles or understanding the software, we encourage you to visit our website, and under resources, you will see that knowledge base is available. That is our articles, which are constantly being updated as well. And we hope you can utilize that as some helpful tools. Thanks so much and see you again here soon.